Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another video. I just finished practicing about an hour ago. Then I had breakfast, and it felt so good. Practice, in my mind, is part of self-care. I know so well what happens if you don't, and I know very well what happens when I do. You know, the yoga practice is more than just movement, physical movement. It's much, much more than that. It's a process of observation. There's a beautiful process of observation. It's a process of observation in which you get to examine both your body and your mind as it moves. And you know, nobody's body's perfect. Nobody's mind is perfect, for that matter. But what happens is you need to reconcile the shortcomings and you need to acknowledge the strengths. And think about how empowering that process is. You let go of the things that if you pay too much attention to, you put too much weight on, you care too much about, are going to hold you back. And you notice and you honor and you make space for whatever comes up that is strong and vibrant and resilient. And that might even just be the process of growth through the practice. That's so empowering. There are people who get lost on this journey. There are people who start focusing too much on things on the micro scale. They start thinking, oh, my practice is so amazing. I don't have to listen anymore. I don't have to try anymore. I don't have to work anymore. I've seen the yoga practice become a crutch to people, especially in a repetitive practice that where the teacher doesn't create space for people to challenge themselves or challenge people to continuously reach out beyond the comfort zone and be okay with feeling uncomfortable and seeing that things aren't working. I also know that if I encourage people in class and I give them space to expand, they will. But at some point when they get, when their perception of how good they've become starts being challenged, that makes them feel uncomfortable and they don't necessarily enjoy that space anymore. In my opinion, something along that path, they took a wrong turn. Somewhere along that path, they took a wrong turn. The process of growth is not a process of constant success. It's a process of constant learning. And one of the greatest principles you can learn is that there is so much to be learned from failure. Failure is a great teacher. It helps you face yourself and see how you feel. And when I was going through the class today, I had all kinds of feeling going through my head. I had feelings of, oh my God, this is so hard. And ooh, look how good I can do this posture. And oh, the teacher was spending too much time talking about things that I didn't care about. There's a lot of ways to approach whatever comes up in your head, but a way that is constructive and goes along with a healthy, consistent, constructive yoga practice is the way of mindfulness. And that's one of the reasons they call yoga mindful meditation, moving meditation. The mindfulness aspect of it is to listen to the narration, the narrative in your head, and to know how to relate to it, how to moderate it, and how to either quiet it down or just put it in perspective. I know that some of the things that go through my head when I practice are not constructive. I don't try to quell them or ignore them. They're there, they're part of me. If I ignore it, it sometimes can have the tendency to show up when I don't need it. So instead of ignoring it, I acknowledge it. I see it, I hear it for what it is, but then I start counterpointing. Well, do you think this is not so great? What about all the other great things that are showing up right now? Why don't you focus on those? Where is the difficulty in focusing on those? I think this is something that a lot of people face and feel that it's challenging for them to deal with. And I want to share with you a couple of points of advice that help me a lot. The first one is that whenever something like that comes up, not only acknowledge it, but look deeper. Where is this coming from? Does it come from jealousy? Does it come from insecurity? Then those things need to be talked in the open and addressed. And the second great thing is to embrace yourself. Good, bad, it doesn't matter. You're you. Embrace the positive, embrace the negative. Realize that if you embrace it and give it space, the right mind space and the right acknowledgement, it is all going to make you a better person. So I really thank you for listening. I'll see you again tomorrow morning.